the new QR code in the back. If I put a new QR code in the back, it's like it's around the hall. You hold. I'll wait for next Friday, right?
Hello everyone, happy December. Y'all are so close, we're so close to our final weeks before finals. Yeah, I hope you all are doing well. We're gonna get right in, we have 4 votes today, so we're gonna move fast. Pull out your computers or phones, go on the attendance sheet and click here. Okay, go ahead and click in for your attendance. If you're here like as an alternate for someone, also click their box. So like if you're filling in for someone, go into the attendance sheet and say that they were here. Is anyone else like unable to see the December 5th day? Everyone else can click it. They just have a copy.
What was that?
That's okay. some shout outs. We're at the end of our first semester. Does anyone have like some cool stuff that's happening in their club that's happened for the past few months or so that they want to shout out? Or just they've seen around campus? Yes, last.
Juliet Jacobson has done a great job in the drama club.
Ah, yes, Juliet. Anyone? Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Class of 27 had a successful fundraiser.
Yay. Anyone else want to shout anything else out? Sasha, you want to say anything about Ray report? Okay.
Yeah, the report did a great job finishing up the first issue of the year, and it was really cool, and I'm really proud of everyone, so they did a good job.
Glossy. It's fine. Okay, great. Anyone else? Okay, we'll keep moving. Extending. Keep shouting out people. Okay, we're going to move to our first vote. If these groups want to come up and talk a little bit about their request to move flags.
Hello, I'm Messina. I'm the president of Garden Club. I'm Ava. I'm the president of the Climate Club.
And I'm Luke. I'm the president of the Dungeons and Dragons Club.
And our clubs have been affected with the new schedule this year, where like flex isn't next to lunch anymore. And so we want to go talk to administration to change this and try to figure out a solution. So this email. Oh, lovely. Okay. Hello, Sequoia administration. We would like to bring to your attention some issues regarding the new schedule this year, specifically the placement of flex time before third or fourth period. You may be unaware that this has disrupted club meeting schedules. Some clubs were utilizing both flex and lunch together for longer meetings, for example, Garden Club and Dungeons and Dragons Club. Since we are unable to use the longer time period, our clubs cannot effectively meet our objectives. We would like to have longer club meeting times during the school day. The most efficient way we see is to move flex to where it was last year, which is right before lunch. When is a good time to meet with you in person to talk about this issue? We appreciate your attention on this matter and look forward to working with you on this matter. If your club wants to be added to the sign-off and participate in this meeting, then let me know after the student senate. But yeah.
Really, just while we're in this forum, I'm just kind of curious. I appreciate you guys kind of like taking the lead on this, but I was just to throw it out to anyone else in the room. Does anybody have comments about the idea? Are you in agreement? Do you have a counter? Anything like that? I'd just love to hear widespread feedback.
Anyone like feel similarly? Yeah. Yes, last.
I feel like a lot of us can agree that it was more helpful, but I think there's still, they have the outstanding problem of like people skipping. I think that's why they changed it. And I worry that that would be, they would value that more.
That's why we're gonna arrange a meeting so that we can talk to them. Maybe we could even just like make lunch slightly longer instead. But yeah.
I think it's definitely hard to not have flex time going into lunch and also have a shortened lunch. It's like,
Yeah.
Sasha.
I think that it was especially frustrating at the beginning of the year when we were all used to the old one. But I think now that everyone's accustomed to this one, changing it would also cause issues, especially with like the freshmen who are used to this schedule and they like just got used to the schedule. Now they have to like switch to something completely new. Like I just think that might like disrupt things. I also think that they are very unlikely to agree to this, and I don't think that that's specifically the reason not to send it. But I think that if it might like make it so that they don't take our other requests as seriously, because this is similar to just it's just yeah, I just don't think that they would take our other requests as seriously because this one is just they're unlikely to do the same. I don't know.
For the first point, they probably aren't going to change it for next semester. It'll probably be implemented next year. And also, like, we should still try, even if there's like a big chance that they're gonna say no.
I think like my position on it is like there's a lot of value in just having that conversation and expressing frustrations if you're feeling like that, as long as we don't sort of, I don't know, phraseology is get our hopes up too much or be so committed that, or deflated if it doesn't pan out or something like that. But I think like, again, how would anybody know what the input of students is, what the opinions of students are, if we don't express them in a totally safe, constructive way, so, yeah.
Yeah. Lydia?
I think this is like a really widespread sentiment. Like I know people in my club mention it a lot, like I'm BSC president, and like other clubs I'm in also. So I think it's definitely worthwhile to bring to the administration, even if we can't revert our schedule the way it was last year. We can still come up with other solutions, like to help clubs out, because it's like a widespread.
If your club wants to be added to the sign off, then let me know after the student senate so that I can add you.
And we've also had an idea of sending out a form to teachers and probably students as well, just to ask about, literally just to say, do you not like this schedule, and then maybe why? Because then we have both from the student senate and wide ranging from teachers and students, which means I feel like that would just put a bit more weight onto the topic.
In my opinion on that specific point, I think the order of operations is to have a meeting with administration first. I think, I'm sort of obviously straddling the lines of both here, and my view is sort of if that gets thrown out into the ether and kind of this groundswell of, grassroots support and it spreads across, and then now all of a sudden you're in a position where you're creating a confrontation sort of between, so I would just have that meeting first, ask if it's something we can solicit opinions and the right way to do that, just so that it's all, everyone pulling in the same direction kind of thing, it would be my thought.
Yeah, I think it's important to start a dialogue about it, and also like I think there's a lot of people have heard different things about why the schedule changed, a bunch of reasons. So to get maybe some clarity on that and have some understanding, and then if that we have no idea what would happen, right? But if that's not moving flex isn't the solution that they're willing to come to, then a different compromise can be made.
And the beauty of having that conversation, like you were saying, is at the very least you'll be the most educated people about why the decision was made and what the possible effects of either course of action is and stuff like that.
So I think that having the flex before third is a way to sort of supplement the wave because we don't have brunch anymore. And if we had flex after third, I don't think they would give us brunch without extending the days to like 4:30.
The thing is they can't give us brunch because the state has decided that all breaks must be the same length.
Oh, I see. Okay. So then we would have 3 straight hours, or if you had a 0, you'd have 4 straight hours of class without a flex, which flex is sort of acts as a break because it doesn't have to be as entirely academic as a 0 and a first and then a third. So 4 straight hours of class is kind of not good for people, and a flex is a break that people need.
So that already happens on normal A and B days, so, I mean, it would, sure, you have break between the classes on flex days, but it wouldn't be that big of a difference, because you're just doing the same thing that you're doing on a normal A and B day, but on flex later, or, I think so.
But I think, yeah, that's they
Other than on
right now.
Wednesdays, it's not possible.
I mean, I have that problem right now. I have a 0 on my B days. I do 4 straight hours and then nothing. But it's also like I have a free curse on this day, so I guess you kind of use that.
But yeah, I think that that's also an issue. But I think that that's a separate problem. Maybe something that's involved in this conversation if we're talking about how we can adjust the schedule. But yeah, I think that has less to do with flex and more to do with others less breaks generally in the schedule. Yeah.
I'm wondering if that counter argument to administration that I think would address a lot of the issues with timing would be like extending lunch to how it was last year, even if it's by 10 minutes, because I know at Asian Student Union we kind of have an issue with like just shortened lunch, like we don't have time for everything we did last year. So I'm wondering if like if they like rejected changing the schedule, if like maybe there could be like an extra 10 minutes
lunch were the same length, then I can move it to lunch, because then I can use flex for actual academic time, so that would still help overall.
Yeah. So it seems to me like as this conversation moves forward, or when you sit with that, the crux of it is that we don't have a long enough time to do the things that we need to do. That's the primary reason for having it. So I think what I'll do is on the check-in form for today, I'll just add a sort of a radio box that if the group that you're representing or your organization wants to be added on as co-signers to this conversation, then we can do it that way. So if there's anyone who feels like a little bit of resistance, then you don't necessarily have to do it like that. Does that sound fair? We can do it that way. But anybody who wants to kind of be part of that, you guys can be the leaders of that conversation, and we can reach out and be the ones to sit down.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Also, if you're voting to pass this, you're voting to pass this exact letter being sent with the groups. So if you don't, you're voting to pass this letter. So if you're feeling comfortable with your name signing off with whatever this says, so I would read it through, make sure you feel comfortable, and then that can be a part of the vote you're going to send.
Especially if you like wanted to go a different way, or like would want a different letter to be sent than just
Yeah.
it should be under the tab SSO9.
You guys, you have a minute to vote.
What? We are at kind of
I'm gonna talk to her. I'm going to tell her. I will leave them in here.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and lock the vote. Okay, the vote is now locked. It passed with 18 yeses, 6 noes, and 11 abstains. But we will send a letter. Yeah, I will go ahead with sending the letter after we meet today. Gooch is going to come up between votes to talk a little bit about our update to the bathroom conversation.
Can you give me a sentence in what is the actual letter, kind of a synopsis of the request?
Yeah, so if you all remember, we sent a letter in November to the administration regarding the bathrooms being locked, the gender-neutral bathrooms being often locked, and students who need to access them not being able to access them. And so on behalf of the Senate, we requested that they either are unlocked or we find a solution like using keypads to keep them accessible for students that need to use them.
And so I think what we would want is just sort of administrator's position on kind of like how that request lands, what the potential pitfalls or roadblocks are and concerns would be in just opening everything up. There's obviously a reason why they're blocking times. And then kind of where you see it going in the future.
I'll start there first, but I think it's really, it's important to look where we want to be versus where we are. Where we want to be is, we want basically every restroom to be gender neutral. The term itself is gender neutral. Restroom, right? It doesn't signify anything other than it's a place where you can go to the restroom. That is where we're going. We have the district, your parents, taxpayers have approved a bond. Part of that bond is a major construction project on this campus. That is, when that will happen is governed by, all sorts of things, construction costs, interest rates, all those sorts of things. So that's actively being worked on now. The plans are in flux, they're being developed, and part of those plans is to have a large bank of restrooms all over the campus that are single use, right? So that's not gonna be a problem in the future, but where are we now? We should be actually making sure there is access at all times. So that's an oversight. That is because things fall apart. Organizations fall apart, right? You're familiar with the second law of thermodynamics, right? Things just kind of drift apart. We need people like yourselves to remind us, hey, this is not happening, so then we come back, right? So that's where we are. Folks who manage the facilities on campus lock every door, right? For various reasons, right? Because when we leave here every day at 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, we have to lock the campus up. The next morning, sometimes those are neglected to be unlocked. And then when a situation happens, like in a single-use restroom, it's often the case that someone will go in there and be on a vandalistic binge and cause a lot of destruction, right? That can happen in a multi-use restroom as well. So I think I'm just trying to explain why it has happened that sometimes the restrooms are locked. We have 3. We have a restroom in the health aide nurse's office that if you need a gender-neutral restroom, then you should go there and ask, hey, can I just use the restroom? Very simple. I just talked to the health aide, Shelby. She's like, sure, anybody is welcome to come here anytime. There may be someone using it, you might have to wait. There is also one in the MPR, which is the multi-purpose room, also the cafeteria room. Inadvertently, it's locked at times, but that will remain unlocked. If it's locked, unfortunately, it's because someone neglected to unlock it. But I'm going to do my best to keep on top of the folks who manage that, so it is unlocked. And then there is one more, which is the one that there are a lot of problems result from it. It is in the exact other side of this building. There's a courtyard there, and there is a hallway that goes to the restroom. It has been a bone of contention over the years. When it's open, people go in there invariably, more than one person, and all manner of things happen that are not safe for students. But that, moving forward, will be available. Here's the plan right now. I spoke with Mr. Priest. So the health office restroom, which is gender neutral, will be available at all times, other than when the health aide nurse is out.
Oh, I know.
When she's out, obviously the health office has to be locked because there are people's student records in there and all sorts of things that people can gain access to. What she has agreed to do is when she's not there, she's gonna walk over to the restroom that's across the courtyard and unlock that door. So that will be easy access during the time she's not around. So if you go to the health office, you wanna open the door, it doesn't open, that's your next thing, and she'll have a sign that says, I'm not here, if you need the restroom, straight across the way. In the NPR restroom, again, there are around 140 staff members on this campus. A lot of them have that key. And so even though I I might go by and unlock that door. Someone might be using that space, and when they leave, they lock it without telling me. And so it prevents an inconvenience that we hope to remedy by communicating with staff. We've done this in the past, but again, like I was talking about organization falling apart, we have to do that again. We have to monitor these things again and again to make sure that the systems we have in place continue to function appropriately to serve students. So there is no actual dedicated movement to prevent access to gender-neutral restrooms. It's more like we need to be better about making sure we're following through on making them available. Does that make sense? With the goal of serving every student here, making sure this is a safe and comfortable place for every student. And then ultimately, we really love this idea that when we do the massive overhaul of this campus, we're going to be able to have a place for everyone to use a restroom whenever they want, and it won't be like it is now, which would be really a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Any questions or?
Yeah, does anyone have anything they want to say? That's fine.
So, there's actually a lot more gender neutral bathrooms on campus. Those are like, I've never seen them unlocked. There's one in the A wing,
Yes.
LL wing, there's one in the media center, there's like two in Carrington Hall, so I don't think three is a correct number. And also, although there's plans in the future to do like reconstruction, this is a problem now and has been a problem for a long time. So there needs to be a solution other than like gambling to see if this bathroom is open right now, or if I have to go talk to someone about that, or
Totally.
something like that.
Agreed. I agree. So, you mentioned that there are a lot more, I wouldn't call them gender neutral, I'd call them single
Well, that's what
use.
they say on that.
Sure. Yes. There was a movement a few years ago that every single-use restroom will get that sign. So some of them do have that sign. Those are staff restrooms, or they are being used by particular programs on campus. So there are some campus programs, student programs, that require a single-use restroom. I don't want to name those programs. However, there are certain cases where a staff member will need to accompany a student into a restroom that's a single use to perform the functions of that job, and that's to take care of that student's needs. So that's why there are single-use gender neutrals that are not available to the student population. Someone brought it up just today that why can't students use staff restrooms? That is a long-standing agreement with staff that is likely in the staff contract, that an adult who works here has the opportunity to use a restroom that a student won't be going into. So you can imagine how that might not be a good idea as well, students and staff, students and adults using the same restroom.
Well, even then, let's say I have a class in the D wing, R&D wing. I would have to walk at least 5 minutes to get over there, especially since there are like different gates locked, barring people. And also, even though there are bathrooms that are dedicated for staff, I think that's a boundary that makes sense, but a lot of them aren't marked that way, so there's just,
Good point.
they're just locked all the time.
Yeah.
So,
That's
it's not fair to expect students to know which bathroom is going to be unlocked, walk of like maybe like, I'd say at minimum like a few minutes, definitely compared to the other bathrooms, which are all over the place. And this, I think, this is less of like a case-by-case basis and more of a human right of literally being able to know where you can go to the bathroom and not having to like go to multiple or spend all this time talking to adults to get it to unlock, or it's just like when someone's got to pee, they don't want to go on a side quest. It's just sort of baseless. Yeah.
Agreed. So that's really good input, which I will take to the principal and let him know, that you had that input, which is terrific. Yeah, you're over in a place where there are lots of bathrooms, but you have to walk over to this one. That makes
I
perfect
know.
sense. Right. You as an in general pronoun. Yeah.
You were saying about having the empty bathrooms and all the time, like all times, the thing of the NPRs
Yeah.
usually locked. So, like, are
Right,
we
NPR itself unlocked as
Yeah.
well as the bathrooms?
The bathroom's unlocked, it's the NPR itself that gets locked. Because invariably, in any situation, there are 1,853 students here. There are 20 or 30, maybe, who would use that opportunity to go in and do something that would not be nice, which happens. That's my job, right? I see that. Hopefully you don't see it as much as I do. And so there's this tension, right? To make sure that we're prohibiting access to things where valuable things are, where that could be, compromised. So that's, again, why people lock that door. But the door to the NPR moving forward will not be locked. And your point about having to search around brings up a good point about labeling, right? So we can certainly make sure that there's signage that indicates where things can happen. And we can also do some school-wide emails to alert people about those things. I think that we want to get to that place where there's no obstacles to using the restroom when you want to use it, right? And that's a really good place to be aiming for. We are not there. Once again, we are kind of an antiquated system here. The building is 100 years old. We're trying to catch up with the future. We're going to do that now. Yes.
I was just gonna clarify, so the bonds for the construction, there is a definitive plan to make all of the bathrooms gender neutral? Like, that's something that we are moving forward to, is that just still, like, something that some people are fighting for and some people are against?
It's where we want to be organization-wide. And here's why, right? It's not just the gender neutral situation. It's that anyone, at any time of the day, may not feel comfortable going into this melee of a big bathroom, right? And we do have challenges, particularly with our male restrooms, right? Things happen in there that, and I can't stand in that restroom all day, right? If they make me, I'm quitting. It's not very pleasant. But part of my job is to go in there and say, hey, why are there 30 guys in here? Right? Which happens. And a lot of times they're eating sandwiches, which really makes me ill. But yeah, I think everybody wants to move to this place where we can feel comfortable going to the restroom because, as you pointed out, it's a human right. And sometimes it's just necessity. You have to go, right? Yes?
Yeah, I think we're gonna,
Sorry.
we have to, in respect to our other votes, we're gonna move on if you'd like to.
I'll add a box to continue adding on this on the form. We can add this to next time agenda as well. Thank you so much.
And great ideas. Send me email.
Yeah, this is like super important dialogue conversation that should be happening. These are the conversations we should be having. Just like, we do not have enough time. So please keep having these conversations. Just, thank you guys. Okay, we have 15 minutes to get through the next 3 votes, so we're gonna move fast. Ruby, please come up. And thank you all for participating in that conversation.
Hi everybody, I'm the president of the Young Feminist Club, and pretty much what I want to talk to you all about today is last year for International Women's Day, which is on March 8th, we had like a little mini festival to celebrate. What we did is we had like this, we filled a bunch of like water balloons with paint, and we did like an art project, and we hung it up in the hallway, and it was really great. We had a ton of fun. But what we wanted to do this year is we wanted to kind of expand and to incorporate other clubs, other organizations into, well, festival status is kind of what I put on there. But the actual day for International Women's Day this coming year is it's a Saturday, March 8th, and so we're planning to have our event on the Friday before, on the 7th. And so we just kind of wanted to, as we're starting to plan it, we want to have just kind of more participation from groups. It could be like if it's maybe a student union, maybe just like important feminist role models in that culture, or if you wanted to do like an art project booth, like table to host. Like anyone who wants to participate participate in like, it could be like a history booth, it could be like a fun activity, it could be like baking, it could be art, anything. We just kind of want to make this as big as possible. So if you are interested, when we do the vote, like if your organization or you personally are interested, please vote yes if you want to help in some way, shape, or form. And then if you like the idea but don't necessarily want to like be in the event yourself, just please abstain. And then I guess if you're just outright against us, including other people, say no, but I really hope you're not. So yeah, just if you would like to help and be in the event, yes. If you like the idea but don't wish to participate yourself, please abstain.
Perfect, we'll go ahead with the vote. Does anyone have any questions? You guys, this is gonna be a quick vote.
Just under a minute for this
Yeah.
vote, so
YMC will be putting it on either way. It's just whether we want other organizations to
it'll
participate.
be Minnesota 9 on, it should have the title.
Okay, we're locked on the vote. Okay, it passes with 17 yeses, 0 no's, 18 abstains. Okay,
Oh wait, yeah, Max and I were coming up to talk.
yes, Max and Kate will be here as Izzy's alternate to talk about basketball teams. For our first approvals now. Let's go faster. Let's have some time. Please, thank you.
Is it on? Like, we can't just show their own numbers.
Just explain these things and then we'll have them.
We have the basketball season starting now, and it's kind of like the big sport of winter, so we're going to do themes for the games. So here are our themes. We have red, white, and blue, pajama, construction/neon, tropical, which I guess is like rainforest kind of feel, jersey, cowboy, minions.
We actually got rid of minions.
Okay,
We got rid of minions, alien, outer space, and blade purple. So yeah. So it's only the excluding the last three. So yeah. So
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about what these themes
yeah.
mean?
We don't know which one is going to be for like the basketball senior night. This is just like one circulating for the possible home games.
Yeah.
What does construction/neon mean?
It's like construction hats, and then the neon kind of ties to like neon reflective vests that construction people wear.
It's a glass.
Yeah.
I feel like some of these like jobs that people work as a theme is just a little strange. Like I feel like you could just do neon and like
Yeah.
just have neon colors. I think it would be more fun as well. Well, that's just what I think. Maybe no one else cares about that.
I think neon is very vague, but a lot of people don't know what to do, so then they'll have like a
little props that we did at the football games, or are you gonna like continue that if we do like construction and whatnot?
I think
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was not.
Okay, let's move on to the vote. I'll explain how an approval style vote works. Thank you guys. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm, oh, we get to choose.
Okay, can you guys go to the SO10 tab? How an approval style vote works, this is our first one, is you can vote for all of them.
There's 7, so you can only vote 6.
Yeah, you can vote. I think there's 6.
Really? Ah.
You can vote for up to 5 of the themes, except for one. It's just an approval style vote works. It's like these are how many I feel comfortable with, how many I like, so that we kind of get the biggest group consensus as possible.
Yeah, can you put them back up?
Okay.
Oh wait, can you put up decades? Oh, yeah, I don't think anyone wants to do that because that's the worst word.
They want us to do it.
That's all I have to say. What's wrong with you? Who wants to do that? Red, white, and ash. Red, white, and ash. Everybody wants to. Or even like the lights out. Think about how many
We
people
wear
are gonna
black
accidentally show. We wear black.
Okay, you guys have 40 seconds.
Wear black. What would you want to do? You were like,
So, yeah.
it's a good thing. Like, yeah, so you see that. So red, white, and blue. I think a lot of people are gonna want to do probably or cowboys. A lot of people are like jeans or it's like more, you know, that's music. You know what I mean?
Okay, you have 15 seconds before the shoot is off.
Like you can wear anything.
Actually, no, it's not. Every bird's gonna show up.
Okay.
Should I bring it back up?
The 4 themes that we have passed
Okay, I'll talk about it.
are red, white, and blue, pajama, tropical, and jersey. Okay. No, tropical and cowboy. No jersey. Okay. Okay.
Hey, Amber Alert.
Amber Alert. National
I'm exempt. I live in a
No, it's a tsunami warning. It's not an Amber Alert. It's a tsunami.
Everyone, item 9, get away from coastal waters.
Guys, get away from the Okay, I'll talk about it over the alert. But this is basically our plan for the formal spirit week, which will be the week of the last week of January leading up to February 1st, which is the formal dance. Based on the theme that we picked last meeting, which is a city of stars, these are the days. We have movie night Monday, which will be wear your pajamas to school, basically, pretty basic. And then we're gonna show La La Land in the NPR. And then this is also an opportunity for clubs, student groups, and like groups of people. If you need to do a little fundraising, you can sell snacks, like movie snacks or popcorn or drinks or something like that. People that go, we wanted to make that accessible to any student group or club. So I don't think we're gonna do it this meeting, but at some point there'll be something that like if you want to participate in that, then you'll have the opportunity. Tuesday is gonna be tourist Tuesday because La La Land is like Hollywood city, like a lot of tourists. So dress up as a tourist, and then we're gonna do this thing that they do at Carmont and a lot as well, which is like we're going to have a big custom, like a big handmade backdrop of like a skyline that you can take photos with as your like tourist postcard or something. Wednesday is gonna be A-list undercover, which is basically just like you wear sweats and a big hoodie and like sunglasses and you're like an undercover celebrity walking around Hollywood. We think that'll get a lot of participation and also just be fun and comfy. And then lunch activity for that would be like guess that tune or guess that song with a prize, probably like a gift card or a treat or something. Thursday is going to be Someday, which is a play on words for one of the songs from La La Land, which will be like you dress up as your future self. So like if you want to be a doctor, you can wear a lab coat or scrubs. If you want to be a professional athlete, you can wear a jersey, something like that. And then the lunch activity will probably be writing letters to your future self. And then on Friday, we're going to do class colors because that was something that we heard from a lot of people they missed that we didn't do for homecoming. So it'll be a City of Stars, which is basically just the dance theme in general. And then 9th grade will wear dark blue and navy, 10th will wear dark purple, 11th will wear black, and then the seniors will be gray and white, so they're like the stars in the sky, you know? And then we're not going to do a lunchtime activity on Friday because it's like kind of a lot to manage a rally and a lunchtime activity like on the same day, and it doesn't get as much engagement and it's harder for us to take on. So we're just going to do like music in the quad as you're leaving the rally.
Okay, we're gonna vote immediately. If you have any questions, you can raise them while we're voting. Okay? Also, stay for like the first 5 minutes of the passing period. You have 10 minutes. Thank you. It's not nice. Okay, you have a minute for the vote.
Does anyone have questions or like
Any questions?
something to add?
Issues they have raised about those themes? Okay, stay for the next 5 minutes, please. Because we have stuff in the parking lot. You have 10 minutes. Stay for 5. Okay, we're locking the vote in 10 seconds. Okay, the formal spirit meeting has passed with 27 yeses and 2 abstains. Okay, I'm going to talk really quickly about Senate elections. In January, at our January meeting, we will have an anonymous vote to vote for our next year's chairperson and secretary. If you would like to apply, you can indicate on the form, which will be on the next screen. I'll quickly explain the roles. The chairman is what I am currently. You basically have to build each slide presentation, do the votes, communicate with ASB and the different organizations, set the flex time meetings, communicate through all of the press releases and social media and stuff. And then the secretary is what Sam's currently doing. That's helping to manage the student senate spreadsheets, hold the votes, and then do our minutes, and also record each meeting and publish it.
None of those positions have to be an ASB. You don't have to be an ASB to do this.
Anyone can run for any of those positions. Some of you have already emailed me about your interests. Is there any questions about running for any of them? If you'd like to, I'm going to have you set up a slide to present about yourself, and then the class will vote anonymously about it.
There's an email from yesterday.
Okay, perfect. Quad takeovers and Monday spotlights as usual. Please fill out the check-in form on your way out.
Please fill out the checkout on your way. Thank you for staying with us.
The tsunami warning was because there was a 7-point earthquake, 7.8 earthquake.
Yo, what side's here, guys? Who's excited? I know I am.